34th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Sauce Gardner, defensive back, Cincinnati. The New York Jets select Garrett Wilson, wide receiver, Ohio State.
All righty then, Garrett Wilson's going to the Jets.
Chrebet is magic. And it's complete for the touchdown. Chrebet, the rookie from Boomer. He grew up in Garfield, New Jersey, 10 minutes from Giant Stadium.
But short of a first down, Chrebet was able to work free. What a move by Wayne Chrebet.
Absolutely unbelievable. You're talking about a kid who is just all heart.
Welcome to the Underdog Jets podcast with Wayne Chrebet and Robbie Sabo. Welcome back, New York Jets fans, and guess what? Your team is the toast of the NFL draft specifically. Everywhere you look, universal acclaim, A grades left and right. There were some surprises to me, but any Jets fan who complains about this one, they're just off their rocker. I know one man who's happy, who's looking forward to this summer because another receiver is coming to town, a guy we looked at, Garrett Wilson. And that man is Wayne Chrebet. Wayne, what did you think about that night?
I thought it was great. You know, I was at the stadium for the first round, actually, the beginning of the first round. And I thought they did great. And obviously, everybody was happy with the picks. You know, you can't go wrong. It was an A draft. And then I went out. And I was actually on the way home from dinner. And I hear the Jets traded up to 25, 26. And I'm like, why would they trade up?
Yeah.
Get someone. I'm like, who is available that they want to get? And then I hear that they got the Johnson kid. And I was like shocked that he was still there.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. I was like, this draft got even better. And,
so,
everybody at talk radio is going crazy about it.
Yeah. Joe Benigno and Evan Roberts are probably going nuts. I mean, those three guys, Ahmad, so Sauce, Garrett Wilson, Jermaine Johnson, they were three guys in the top 10 of a lot of draft boards, a lot of teams. And the Jets had Johnson in the top 10 as well. Why he slid, we still don't know. You know, he was a late bloomer because he shined at the Senior Bowl. So maybe that had something to do with it. But, you know, we said this before the draft started. And the reason we missed 2 weeks, by the way, is because I got COVID, but lost my voice, all healed up. I couldn't play injured. I tried. I thought for sure they would go edge at either at 4 or 10. They did not do that. And, you know, Douglas turns up looking like roses, trading up for Johnson at 26.
Yeah, that was a big move. Kind of like what they did with Vera Tucker last year. But the fact that that kid was available, the only thing I heard, I mean, his motor, sometimes he questioned the kid's motor. That is not an issue. Is that he only had the 1 full year at FSU from the, last chance U, the JUCO.
That's
school.
right.
I mean, they essentially got the number 1 corner.
Yep.
The number 1 receiver, I felt. Number 1 running back, Breece Hall. And then this kid, first or second at his position. So, I mean, it was an outstanding job by Joe Douglas and Coach Sala.
Did you think Ahmad was going to be the guy at 4? Or did you think it was going to be our boy, Iquanu?
I thought that once Stingley went, before the Jets picked, that they kind of had to go after Sauce because there was a drop-off to the 3rd corner. So I think it made sense to get Sauce at 4.
It's interesting, too. Sauce, I'm surprised Stingley went 3rd, to be honest, because I'm taking Sauce every time. 6'3". I think the thing that a lot of people overlooked, myself included, he fits this Salas scheme perfectly. You know, he's like that Richard Sherman-esque. He could bump and bail technique, play that cover 3 quarters to perfection. And that's the kind of player he is. He can do everything. He can play man too, obviously, but he fits that scheme perfectly. And he's got a personality perfect for the metropolitan area as well.
Yeah, he's a ball hawk too. You could see, he breaks on the ball well, and I think he just understands the concept of the defense and the offense he's going against. And like you said, he's perfect for New York. His personality and what he brings. So, I think the fans are going to love him as well as the other two picks.
Yeah, and then the corner at 4, Garrett Wilson at 10, and again, I thought they might go receiver at 10, but I wasn't sure. So chalk it up as a bit of a surprise. And the real takeaway for me is this. Joe Douglas, we know Douglas is an inside-out guy, former offensive lineman in college, standout. Where did he go? Virginia. I forget the college exactly, but was a good lineman. And he believes in an inside-out philosophy. I thought because some of the questions with Becton, because of the edge, they need interior defensive linemen too, especially a one-tech guy. I thought that he'd still pound that inside, and he did not. And I think that's a tip of the cap for him and this regime taking what was there and realizing this league is changing a lot. Playmakers make more of an impact these days. Plays are quicker. So, I give them a lot of credit in that regard. And the bonuses, fans, they love the Mangolds and the AVTs and the Bectons of the world. But when they're skilled players, when the skilled players go in the top 10 to the Jets, there's even more hype.
Yeah. I mean, it was the deepest draft as far as receiver. I felt we got the best one.
Yeah.
Some guys who went later in the first round or second round certainly could have great careers. But who would you have taken at 10 as far as the next O lineman off the board?
I probably would have went Jermaine Johnson, to be honest.
No, at O lineman.
O-line, probably nobody.
Yeah,
I probably would have passed at O-line at 10.
Yeah, at that point. So the gamble paid off that we got him, in the mid-20s.
Yeah, I think they made the right call. They went with the board. They didn't force it, and that's a huge thing. So, hey, tip of the cap, Jermaine Johnson trading up with Tennessee at 26. They wind up getting 7 guys, all in the first 4 rounds, too, which is interesting. Michael Clemens, another edge who could be a situational sub guy, at a passing downs. And they got that swing tackle too, Max Mitchell, who really has some pretty good stats in college. Can he be that third tackle to plug in? If Becton misses time or Fant misses a game or two, time will tell.
Yeah, I think both of them are solid picks. The Clemens kid, same exact thing, high motor, high intensity kind of guy. And that's all you can ask for. You could teach technique. You can get them strong in the weight room, but sometimes you cannot teach a kid to have a high motor and to be an all-out kind of guy every play. It's just how it is. It's offense or defense. Sometimes, you kind of it's in your DNA. So you could teach the other things, but the fact that these guys are like that, it's going to be great additions to Sal's defense.
Yeah, and you're so right. It's in their DNA, and that's what Sal and Douglas look at. And they really love guys who love to play ball. They love high quality guys. Speaking of DNA, every Jets fan alive knows what your DNA was. Tough over the middle, gritty, do whatever it takes to get the job done. And one of the plays I saw earlier today, you sent me the one-handed catch in Baltimore in 2000. We think it was 2000 around Christmas time, where you made the one-handed catch, did not celebrate, and it struck you like, oh man, I didn't even do anything in terms of hype, in terms of celebration. But again, that was workmanlike. That was in your DNA.
Yeah, it's just different. And these are the kind of guys they're going after. Actually, I read the comments. I have never reacted or, responded to, stupid comments or this and that. But it was funny. It was about 10 minutes after I saw the video, somebody posted that video and I liked it and everything. Mm-hmm. So why wasn't Wayne Chrebet drafted? They said, this guy said that I was too fragile to play in the NFL. Where did these people get this stuff? I thrived on contact. But the whole point of it was, after I watched that play, I was like, yeah, I got absolutely smashed. But I enjoy when people post those things, man, because it's just a blast from the past. And I don't know if you saw the post, me, Lavernius, and Santana Modis at
yeah, I was going to ask you, where did that come from?
They had a big card show, 3-day card show at American Dream by the stadium. And I always post a picture of the 3 of us on the sideline smiling. And this was the first time in 20 years that the three of us were together. And I was like, has it really been 20 years since the three of us played together? But it was great. I posted that. Everybody seemed to love it.
Yeah, the trio from, what was it? When did Santana come in? 2000? Probably from like 2001 to 2003, 2004.
Yeah.
Whenever I think of Santana Moss, I think of that touchdown with the Pennington strong arm in San Diego in the playoffs.
Yeah. So we had some good memories, just laughing a lot yesterday. And actually, it's funny because there was 4 people signing at the 4 o'clock spot, and it was us 3 and Mike Tyson. So it was like, what doesn't belong? So we took a picture of Mike Tyson, and I was on his right side, so we all stood in the picture, and he puts his hand up like that, and my face was like here, and I was just kind of like shying away. I was like, "This tough." Now I think I'm tough, but then there's a whole different world like a guy like that. So it was exciting to meet the guy and shake his hand, but seeing my boys, my fellow receivers yesterday was awesome.
Yeah, Tyson, if you're putting together a list of guys who don't want to punch you, I think he's right at the top of the list. As listeners hear my dog go crazy right now. My apologies in advance. I couldn't get someone to watch them for the night.
So, yeah, everybody who liked the comment and made comments on the picture of the me, Santana, and LC, thank you very much. I do, read all them. So, I'll keep those photos coming.
Yeah, that's an interesting foursome with Mike Tyson. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
The other big news is the schedule came out, and I have never seen anything like this, Wayne. The Jets open up. They play the AFC North this year, and what is it, the NFC North? So it's always rough when you have to go to the West Coast, both conferences. It only happens like once every 11, 12, or 13 years, but they play the AFC North, and those are the first 4 matchups on the schedule. I have never seen anything like this in my life. They open up at home against Baltimore on 9/11, which makes sense. There were a lot of rumors that they were going to be the first Sunday night game for the 9/11 night. Turns out it is, 1 o'clock game, I believe, at 1 o'clock against Baltimore. So versus Baltimore, at Cleveland, versus Cincinnati, and then at Pittsburgh to open this thing up. I have never seen anything like this. You always get, at least 2 AFC matchups in the first 4 weeks.
Right. Yeah. You'll see what they're made of right away. But speaking, I looked at some of the statistics. I mean, some of the teams are going, Seattle, where they're playing overseas, 20,000 miles travel. Pittsburgh's not even leaving the Eastern timeline. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Eastern time. I mean, I think they're like 3,500 miles for the whole season.
Yep.
So, you got to beat them on their own field. It's a tough place to play, but we'll see what we're made of in the first quarter of the year. And obviously you like to go 3-1 in that, but versus those teams, if they can come away 2-2, at least I would say it's a successful start to the year.
Yeah.
But I'm not giving up anything. I hope they go 4-0, but 3-1 would be a nice start.
Yeah. So I agree with you that with that first month of the season, and then it's versus Miami, week 5, at Green Bay, which is going to be nice to check out Lambeau Field. I've never been there myself. At Denver, and then home against New England. So again, that first half of the season, it's not easy. It's a tough one.
Yeah. It is what it is. You can't pick who you play, but they're going to have to beat them all to make the playoffs. So, I think the big thing is having these mini camps. I mean, I wasn't there. I know you were there for the rookie mini camp, but to see all those guys together, that's it, and the rookies today, seems like they put in some good practices, but this is some of the time they haven't had in the last couple of years because of the COVID restrictions.
Yeah, no, actually, I was going to be there Saturday for rookie camp, but that was in my throes of the beginning of COVID. So yeah, I'm going to have to hit up OTAs on the 23rd. I think it opens. Yeah.
That was another thing based on the players that they got, especially, the kid from Florida State Johnson. They haven't had Senior Bowl. They haven't had things where, the pro days where guys can be there, in person. It was all Zoom stuff. So the fact that I think the guys they picked were guys they saw their pro days and got the chance to kick the tires on and meet in person and see their personalities. I think that's why the draft went so well.
That's true, because remember, the Jets coaching staff was prominent at the Senior Bowl.
Yeah.
So very good point.
So I'm looking forward. You can't tell with shorts and t-shirts on sometimes, but
no, you can't.
You know.
And also, when we look at the schedule right now, we know how semi ridiculous it is. It comes out, it's a big night. NFL makes it a big thing, but we don't know how it's going to shake out. We don't know what these teams are going to look like. The NFL changes so dramatically each year. Jets are kind of an outlier because they're rebuilding this thing the right way. And it was something I wrote recently where it kind of touches on that. First, he focused on the inside. Now he's getting to the outer edges, and you really have huge pieces of the puzzle in tow. AVT, Garrett Wilson, Sauce, Becton, Fant, who is a pleasant surprise, Zach Wilson, and you got two backs. There were a lot of analytics people who did not like the Breece Hall pick in the early second because he's a running back. But I think analytics, if you use it as a religion, it's the most ridiculous thing ever. It needs to be used as a tool, not as a religion. And he fits this scheme perfectly. His vision is great. He's a one-cut guy. And I think him and Michael Carter are going to work off each other brilliantly.
Yeah, it's running back by committee. There's really not many guys except like a Derrick Henry kind of guy that, get most of the carries. But that 1-2 punch, and I know I've played a lot of fantasy, so I've played Breece Hall in fantasy, on DraftKings and stuff like that. I mean, he puts up some numbers. I think he had a touchdown like 30 straight games or something. So they compare him to Tomlinson.
Yeah.
And so, it's comparisons it is what it is. But I'm looking forward to that. I mean, they just put some weapons around Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
Giving him every, spot to succeed, doing anything they can to protect him and throw that defense in there. And you got Berrios coming back as the Pro Bowl returner or the All-Pro returner. I mean, it improved vastly. And it ain't just us saying that we're biased, but it's the media.
Oh, yeah.
The toughest, especially the New York media, the toughest critics. So they still have to go out there and win games. But going into it, I think there's great cause for optimism.
There was not one below A- grade from all these pundits. Mel Kiper, everywhere, NFL.com, Daniel Jeremiah. It just didn't end. And they had a great draft last year, I thought. And there was praise for Joe Douglas. Even the first year, there was great praise, but it did not even come close to this year. It was unanimous. And speaking of Zach Wilson and Berrios, did you happen to catch it? They went to Rangers Game 7 last night.
Yeah, I saw them celebrating with their Rangers jersey on. They actually were killing Zach because he was at the Islanders game doing the same thing last year. Yeah. And they say you have to pick. You have to listen. I root for all New York teams. You don't have to pick. I'm glad he's supporting the New York, teams. Hopefully they come out and support the Jets. But that's an exciting thing to be at. Maybe I'll get to one of the games later in the this next series.
Yeah, hockey fans are built a little differently. I've come to know, and you're right. He doesn't have to pick. I'm in this area in baseball. I like the Mets and Yankees. But I'm glad he finally is watching a real hockey team as opposed to the Isles last year. I'll just drop that real quick.
Think about this. I was listening to it was ESPN on the radio home, and like I said, after the Johnson pick, and what the Giants did in the first round, and the guys like, if you see, flat out said he said, if you not excited as a Giant fan right now, you are an asshole. And he said it just like that, and it's the truth. And that same thing. People are calling it a little bit Jets, Giants, Yankees, Mets, first place, Rangers, second round of the playoffs. This is a good time for New York sports. So, I'm excited about all of it. I can't wait to see them take the field in training camp and start banging a little bit and see what they have there.
Yeah. I mean, and again, hopefully the Rangers lead the way and do something against Carolina this series. And to your point, listen, yes, you see these comments. They still have to do it on the field. They still have to win, blah, blah, blah. Of course, granted. But at the very least, and this is huge, it hasn't been built with smoke and mirrors this time. Rewind the clock to 2019. There was a big party for the new uniforms. They brought in Le'Veon Bell. They brought in Mosley, and I still like Mosley. Mosley's here, but they got ahead of themselves. They were bringing in veterans when they weren't ready yet. You need an offensive line before you bring in a veteran running back and commit that money. Right. This regime understands that, and they took the patient approach, and it's not smoke and mirrors. It's legitimate. When, not if, is the question when this team succeeds.
I think people are realizing that, and it's nice, if you're a player, it's nice to have the support of everybody. Obviously, you don't want to go in there and you're just getting hammered by the media or hammered by the fans, the so-called pundits, whatever it is. But like I said, there's a level of excitement right now that there hasn't been in a while, and still people are like, well, it's the same old Jets. Listen, it's not. Mm-hmm. Right. I was part of those teams. This isn't that. I understand they have talent and they have to be a cohesive unit. But the way they're doing this, the way they've built this the last couple of years, this is how you create, a team that's here to stay for a while, be a playoff team and consistently make the playoffs and, hopefully contend for a championship.
Absolutely. Let's rattle off the schedule. Week 9, home against Buffalo. Then week 10 is the bye. Week 11 in Foxborough. So they got the Pats 2 out of 3 games, 2 out of 4 weeks with the bye in there. Same situation as last year in Foxborough after the bye, which is interesting. Then they turn around, bring in Chicago, and then go to Minnesota, back-to-back NFC North teams. And then at Buffalo, week 14, home against Detroit in week 15. And this is where it lightens up a little bit based on right now. The end of the schedule is really where they could create some damage. Home, their only primetime game is Thursday night, week 16, home against Jacksonville. At Seattle, that's the extra game where the NFC has the extra home game this year. So the Jets have 8 home games, 9 road games, and they're matched up. AFC East is matched up to the NFC West. So the 4th place team plays the 4th place team, Jets versus Seahawks. And then week 18 to finish the season at Miami. So an interesting schedule.
Yeah. Well, like I said, they have to come out pretty hot, but you got to win, with that amount, the home games, you got to win. You got to win all your home games or a majority of them. You got to win your AFC East battles. But, you look at it, look at talent. Look at the talent level. I think after Buffalo, we are second right now in talent, ahead of the Dolphins and, ahead of the hell's the other team?
Bills, Dolphins, Pats.
Oh, Dolphins, Pats. I think they're more talented than the Pats. I really do. I do. They don't have to experience it, but they have a lot of other things going for you. And most importantly, no one expects them to do anything.
Right.
So they have nothing to lose going to these games. They do not have a target on their back. They can just go out there and play hard and let the chips fall where they may.
And they're younger. I mean, the Pats went on a crazy spree last year, free agent spree. They're older. I think it's going to be a tougher battle for them this year as opposed to last year because of that. So, it should be interesting. Tua with Tyreek Hill in the AFC East. That's another thing to watch out for. But yeah, like you said, the talent is there. And when I look up and down this depth chart, the offensive line looks great on paper. They got 2 running backs you can count on. You got 4 receivers you can count on. Oh, and this last one, we'll end on this note. How about Jeremy Ruckert, the tight end, the hometown kid, getting drafted? Did you see that video with his family celebrating? Yeah,
I thought after getting a Zuma and a Conklin that they might not go after. I know we were talking about the McBride kid.
Yeah.
But the fact that they got him, I think he had 1 drop in like the last 2 years. It's a local guy. But, my whole thing is they have like a why not us, feeling right now. Like, why not us? Like, they actually believe. And that's part of the battle going in, thinking we could have a special year. I'm excited as much as anybody. But like I said, it's realistic this year. It's not a pipe dream.
Yeah, Justin Hardy Sr., the special teams ace who they signed last offseason, tweet from yesterday. All the Jets disrespect and slander comes to an end after this season. ! I'll catch y'all soon. All
right. Well, let's end on that with the draft. Like you said, we both agree it's a tremendous draft. Feather and a cap to management and Joe and Salad. But let's get together in a couple of days and see how this veterans and rookies went in mini camp this week, because I'm interested to see what people report on that.
Absolutely. I don't know. On the next episode, we'll let everyone know when OTAs. I think they're the 23rd, but we'll round back. We'll be back soon, like Wayne said, with another episode. Subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on iTunes, rate and review. It's the best thing you could do for us. Share this video and this podcast, and use that discount code 80 at jetsxfactor.com. The subscriptions are flooding in, and we do not want it to stop.
Yeah, and like I said, we'll start doing this live when we get iron out the kinks, so you guys can give your questions and have a little go back and forth to answer it. Things you guys really want to hear about.
Yeah, mark it down as me being on the shelf for the last 2 weeks with non-disclosed illness. We'll go with that.
All right,
Jets fans. We'll catch you later. Wayne, have a good one.
You too. Take care.